Hello, Yu-Gi-Oh players, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0. So yes, I am just sitting here in the newsroom for the Independent, waiting for everybody to get back from their lunch breaks. Yes, it's 3:55, but anyway, I'm going out to get Thai food. So I figured that it is a decent time for me to begin weighing in on the latest Yu-Gi-Oh card news that people have been talking about a lot. I did want to cover this a long time ago in a more timely manner since I am a news writer and that's what I do, but um, I was going to wait on the extra deck cards from the new duel sets to come out before I began doing my analysis on it, but it looks like we're not going to get that anytime soon. So that is what I'm talking about today, is the my take on the new cards from the new duel set things that are coming out in the OCG. Now, one of the things that I'm going to demonstrate by talking about one of the cards from this is how short-sighted Yu-Gi-Oh! Commentary tends to be, particularly when it comes to market watches and card reviews. People look at a card and they judge its value based on what it can do now. Case in point, well, actually, you know what? We'll wait for this. Why don't I just get down to the review? So my initial reaction to these sets is that they're pretty mediocre. Each set has one card that I think is decent, and actually really the only card I think is good out of either of the sets comes from the Machine, Trooper, Gear, whatever it is, which is Geargia Mach Mark MK whatever 3. Because what that does is it actually creates the potential to speed up the deck. Because one of the things you can do with this card is you can sack a Geargia Arsenal to summon the Geargiano MK3 from your deck, and use the MK3 to summon either a Geargia Arsenal or another, Geargia monster from a level 3 Geargia monster from the graveyard, which you can discard with something like Machina Fortress or something like that, and you can use that to summon the rank 3 dude. But that really depends on how good the rank 3 dude is, because while that play could be a fast play that the deck can get off quickly, it could just put an Xyz monster on the board with Geargia Arsenal, and that would be great. The problem is we need to know if that Geargia Xyz monster, that rank 3, is going to be any good. Because barring that, Geargiano MK3, if that Xyz monster turns out to be not so great, Geargiano MK3 is going to turn out to not be as good as I was hoping it is. Geargia Attacker, I don't see it making an impact on the deck. It does have the application where you can just destroy multiple spell and trap cards on the board, but it doesn't do anything for Geargia that a good card like Trap Stun or Forbidden Lance couldn't do. It takes up an extra turn like Geargia Armor, but it doesn't give you any searches, and it's unlikely to survive to the turn after you set it because it's only got 1100 defense to match its 1900 attack points. So I don't see that making a big impact. It's just that the MK3 that could potentially have some good plays going around it. So why do I have the Legend of Korra theme stuck in my head? It's actually just the Avatar theme. Whatever. Anyway, I digress. My ADD is showing. Lightsworn. That's the other one. The Lightsworn pack. I have yet to see anything really good to be excited about out of the Lightsworn one. I'm going to withhold judgment. I'm going to withhold judgment on it until we see the synchro, which I don't know. It would have to be pretty darn good to make this pack worth it, because the only use that I can see out of Raiden is Lumina into like a Black Rose or the synchro. So it really depends on whether the synchro is any good, whether Raiden is any good. As far as Minerva, now this is where I get to the short-sightedness of you YouTubers. Commentary and card reviews and stuff like that. Minerva has the potential to be very good. She can search out Light Dragon monsters from the deck, Right now, she kind of sucks. We have no reason to believe that she's going to be of any use at all, because the only targets that she's reliably going to have are things like Galaxy Serpent or White Stone of Legend, maybe even Eclipse Wyvern, but you already have to have 4 Lightsworns in the graveyard in order to do that, and by that time you probably have better plays to make. But potentially, Konami could come out with a very low level Light Dragon type monster with an effect that can be activated from the hand and be decent, and even be, like, if it's a decent or a good card, then Minerva will actually be a very good card, because she can tutor that monster out, she can tutor out White Stone of Legend, and you can make, ooh, I'm hiccuping now, wow. And she can make combos based on that. She's a floater, and she's a tuner, and that is good, and she also mills. But as far as we know right now, there's no good application for her. But one of the reasons why I bring this up, having to do with the short-sightedness of Yu-Gi tubers, is this is how it always goes. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to happen with Minerva, but it always seems to go that they look at a card and they think, that card's and they don't pay any attention to it, or they call it a bad card, and then it ends up being an amazing card. Case in point, Big Eye. That card was like $7 for a while. I think like 10 when it came out, but that was because people couldn't see, like, there wasn't immediately a combo that made that card broken. People, you know, they weren't like, oh, hey, look, that's going to match perfectly with this deck and it's going to be amazing. They didn't see a deck for it to go with, so nobody went for it. Nobody bought it. Everybody thought that it sucked, and then it turned out that it was a freaking amazing card. I think the same is true of Pinpoint Guard and Xyz Reborn. Because when both of those cards came out, there wasn't a whole lot of application for them. They were just like $5 to $10 cards. Nobody was using them, and they aren't really using them right now. But every once in a while, it would come up the possibility that there is a really good application for that, and the price would go up a little bit and then probably go back down. But they're both really good cards. I mean, Pinpoint Guard can put a monster on the board and protect it for a turn that could create crazy setups. And it could be a monster like, well, it can't be Stratos anymore, but it could be a Stratos-like monster that you can put on the board, protect it for a turn, you get its effect, so it becomes a +1 off of that. It basically ends the battle phase for your opponent, and sets up plays for next turn. So it's potentially a really good card, but because it has not much application right now, people aren't giving it much credit. And the same is true of Xyz Reborn, which has crazy amounts of power potential, but nobody's doing anything with it. Nobody even noticed the card until Ophion came out, and people were like, oh, we should use it with Ophion, and then they never did. So, that's my take on Yu-Gi tubers and card reviews and short-sightedness and the most recent duel news. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why. And then subscribe for more reviews and analysis and other such shenanigans. Meanwhile, I'm your host, the RJB0. Thank you guys for watching, and I got a jet. See you guys.